Norm Lacombe for tripping, perhaps breathes life into the Flames. There's the trip right there on Patterson. One more look at the goal. Nieuwendyk strips Kevin Lowe and moves into Grant Fuhr. You know, he never did make contact with the puck. All he did was push the outside of Grant Fuhr's stick, and Fuhr himself, because of the momentum of the push by that man, Joe Nieuwendyk, actually popped the puck between his own legs back into the net.
Reinhart and Mullen got the assists on that at 15:35. Important part of the game. 3:45 to go in the second. Calgary with the man advantage, trailing in the game by 2. Brad McCrimmon takes a look. He has Bullard moving up the right side and hands it to him. Bullard scooting in, pursued by Tikkanen. Flips one that comes back across to Rob Ramage. Drills it along the rail. Smith tried to chop it. Bullard denied him and handed to Tonelli. Tonelli back for Bullard, but it's off his stick. Pinching is McCrimmon. Puck taken by Smith and lifted out. This is a 2-on-1. Messier and McTavish with Ramage back. McTavish lost it off his stick. Incredible. McCrimmon rolling it along, and a lot of sighs of relief over at the Calgary bench on that one.
I don't think Messier knew which side to pass that puck on. McTavish really didn't give him a clear-cut target, and as a result, Messier ended up jamming him. He didn't know if he should give it to him on his forehand or on his backhand.
John Saunders will be along with SportsCenter at the end of this period. 55 seconds left on the power play. 2:40 to go in the second period. Across 2 lines, the pass to Lou. John Saunders at the end of this period with SportsCenter, but right now, Tom Meade.
All right, Mike Emmerich, in St. Louis, the Blues are just seconds away from going down 3-1 to the Detroit Red Wings. Glenn Hanlon is playing like Superman between the pipes in the third period. Less than a minute to play now. A timeout has been called as Jacques Demers and the Red Wings and Jacques Martin and the Blues have had time to confer. You see the clock superimposed, 41 seconds. Dave Strader and Mickey Redmond are standing by at the St. Louis Arena. Let's catch the end of the regulation time at the arena.
And Gordy Roberts. Savant on the face-off with Gilmore. Face-off comes right to Gingras. Doubles it across for Roberts. Let's it go.
Hanlon save right into the midsection. You see them pile him for the front of the net. Hanlon's just got to stand his ground in a case like that and hope it hits him or goes wide of the net, because I don't think he can see a whole lot. Blues control the face-off, and in walks Roberts, and everybody heads for the front of the net. Look at that. Norwood's down the block.
Had his head covered there.
You bet he would. There we go again.
Controlled by the Blues. Gingras lets it go. Oh, it went through Hanlon's legs and wide. Now it comes out in front. Fired wide by Hull. Gingras takes it to the corner. 20 seconds to go. Gilmore in front. Then it was blocked at the side of the net.
Oh, Gilmore just speared Norwood. There he is again. Triple. 3 times he speared him.
Well, it's still 3-1. Detroit leading over St. Louis. They should hang on to win that game, but stranger things have happened, and stranger things have happened in Edmonton, I guess, Mike. Calgary was all but buried in this game, trailing 4-0, but they're back within 2 and pressing.
And they still have 27 seconds, Tom, of power play time, but the Oilers win this draw, and Greg skips one off Reinhart and down. So Rick Wamsley playing in his first minutes against the Oilers as a Calgary Flame in the playoffs, turned this one over to Reinhart, then along to Lube. 10 seconds to go power play, 2 minutes left in the period. Suter hit by Gregg. The puck across and a drive by Reinhart. Rebound in front, scramble, and it was sent wide by Mike Bullard. He broke his stick on the shot, and right now he has no lumber. Nieuwendyk flips one over, then is rolled in front by Reinhart and cut back off and brought out by Lacombe fresh from the penalty box. Lacombe moving in, Suter on him, pass across and unable to get a shot. Messier. Suter taps it along. Man, oh man, here's Lowe coming along to drop it off for Gretzky. Checked right off by McCrimmon. Fans thought they saw a stick in that one. Loose puck is scooped up by Nieuwendyk and then tapped back over to Bullard.
What they saw McCrimmon's stick go right inside Gretzky's jersey and end up spearing out the front of his jersey as if he was on a pitchfork, but it was only a sweater that McCrimmon had.
Puck cleared back along, and here's Gretzky striding to take it. Onside play. Oh, he had Tikkanen breaking, but the pass is ricocheted to the glass by Brad McCrimmon. Tikkanen trying to get his way to the front. Still trying to fight his way off with Tim Hunter. And then the extra man in, I believe, is Nieuwendyk.
I think that is Nieuwendyk on the bottom. You know, we stopped seeing a lot of the Gretzky line and a lot of the Messier line, especially the Messier line. But now that the score is back to 5-3, we'll see more of both of those people, and we'll see more of, who else? Tom Mees.
All right, Bill Clement, it's officially over now in St. Louis. The Detroit Red Wings have captured Game 4 of the Norris Division Finals. They beat the Blues 3-1. They lead the series 3-1. Should Edmonton eliminate Calgary tonight, and that's still in question, but should that be the case, then our cameras will be in Joe Louis Arena Wednesday night for game number 5 of the Norris Division Finals. You see Jacques Demers walking off the ice congratulating his team. Let's get back to Edmonton. Mike Emmerich and Bill Clement.
Gary Fraser will be handing out penalties. We've not gotten the call yet, but the door to the Calgary bench is swung open.
Well, it wasn't 25 that was underneath Esatikhin. There was 55. Rob Ramage, he has already jumped the Flames bench and gone down the chute to the locker room because there's only 50 seconds to go in the period. Tikkanen, I'm sure, has done the same. I can't see him down on their bench, and he's not in the penalty box. But with this score back to being 5-3, we'll see more Messier, more Gretzky. We saw an awful lot of Krushelnyski and an awful lot of McTavish for a few minutes there when this game was 4-0. And why not? Rest the guys. Len Saylor doesn't need to take a chance of getting his guns injured, but that's a little too close for comfort. 5-3 is anything but a commanding lead against the Flames.
Roughing minors to both Ramage and Tikkanen. And it is Mark Messier who will be out for this faceoff. He has Anderson and Simpson with him, Gregg and Smith in back. Puck comes back to Smith. Bullets one that ricochet wide. Simpson appeared to get a piece of it. Trying to get it loose is Colin Patterson, and it comes on to Merzen. Leads it out to Tim Hunter. Hunter's pass is on the wing to Patterson. Check from behind by Anderson. He's still got a backhander away. And Gregg advances it, but back out to McCrimmon. Under half a minute to go in this period. Offside called against Calgary. And then Gregg and Hunter paw at one another, and the linesmen hurry to get in.
You know, the other night we talked about peripheral vision by the great athletes. Well, Tim Hunter was jousting with Randy Gregg, and he caught Steve Smith out of the corner of his eye coming in, and he put up that big left fist for Smith to run into. There's Joel Otto flexing with Mark Messier. Now Merzen piles in with number 9, Glenn Anderson.
Otto and Messier are big rivals, especially when it comes to faceoffs, and Otto has done such a good number on Messier in some of the past games defensively. Right now, it is a war of words only.
I think Kerry Fraser's having trouble getting a word in edgewise there. Couple of horses right there.
As hard fought as this series has been, this is game 4, and there's only been one fight.
There's got to be one right here. This has to turn into one. I mean, look at the hold that Smith has of Hunter. Is Hunter going to take that? I'd be really surprised if that doesn't turn into a fight. Real surprised.
The linesmen are dealing with others. That leaves Smith and Hunter to themselves, and now Gord Brosiker comes in. Gary Fraser is undoubtedly telling them now, if you don't stop, it's going to be an extra misconduct tacked on to whatever else I'm giving you. And that would be a severe punishment, because even if they get minors or 5s, that could pretty well take care of the rest of regulation or close to it. This is interesting. Anyone at home read lips? This is occurring, in case you're just joining us, with 26 seconds to go in the second period of Game 4. The broom waved somewhere near the background, or rather the foreground of Hunter as he comes off. He'll go below to the locker room, too, because there isn't that much time to serve these. But the Oilers are heading the series 3-0, and in this game 5-3. And it looked as though they had it in their grasp, but the Flames have battled their way back in.
You know, it all was pretty innocent, other than the fact that Randy Gray kind of rubs out Hunter there. There it was with the left elbow. Hunter pushes back. Back comes Greg. Where is everybody? Stay tuned. They just pile in here in a couple of seconds. There's Tim Hunter on the bench now.
That means he's getting nothing then. Or at least right now, nothing has been handed to him. Tim Hunter, one of 9 Calgary draft picks in the lineup tonight. Honorary chairman of Calgary's Rehabilitation Society, and nice guy, real gentleman off the ice, but boy, you don't want to tangle with him.
I don't know if I'd want to tangle with Joel Otto or Mark Messier either. No, aren't those a couple of obedient boys right there? Poplinski and Kevin Lowe standing there nice, quietly, not bothering anybody, just getting the bad news from Kerry Fraser, which we will relay to you as soon as we get it.
That motion parallel to the ice by Fraser gives me the idea that everything cancels. Especially how quickly both turned away, decided not to protest. Usually if one argues, he's getting the short end of the deal.
Right.
Young man who also played hockey himself for the Sarnia Bees in the Ontario Junior League. That's the Junior B League. And then eventually in the junior career shifted to becoming an official. Pick up the call.
Dana Merzen, 2 minutes for roughing. To Calgary's number 29, Joel Otto, 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct. To Calgary's number 19, Tim Hunter, a 10-minute misconduct. To the Oilers, number 11, Mark Messier, 2 minutes unsportsmanlike conduct. To the Oilers, number 18, Craig Simpson, 2 minutes roughing. And to the Oilers, number 5, Steve Smith, a 10-minute misconduct.
Everything cancels out. We're back to play with 22 seconds to go in this period. Well, Calgary has to be heartened by what they've accomplished here. Looked as though they were out. Not only did it see the Flames get back to within 2, but then the Oilers got a goal and made it 3, and right back came the Flames again. So they battled back to 2 goals twice. As Cox winds one around, the siren goes. And the second period comes to a close, but now we have Roberts involved with Muni. Seems that peace is going to be restored, although Kevin McClellan will get a lecture from Kerry Fraser. Chanting sweep. Flames are to depart first as the visiting team. There are separate runways here. In some of the arenas they share, or at least must go across one another to get off. But now the teams file out with the score at the end of 2 periods. Edmonton 5, Calgary 3.
BMW 325i convertible, the ultimate tanning machine.
Today's small cars are tougher than ever on oil. Their high-compression engines not only rev high, they can run hotter than regular small car engines. Their searing heat can begin to break down an oil immediately. That's why there's Castrol. the motor oil that in every grade provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol before your engine does something to get you heated up. Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars.
Road to the Cup on ESPN is being brought to you by Volvo, a car you can believe in. And by Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires. And by the crisp, clean, imported taste of Labatt's Blue. It's blue heaven. And we get set for the third period tonight in Edmonton. Calgary, well, they played well the second period, but in reality, all they did was tread water. They're still 2 goals behind the Oilers. They got to beat them by at least 2 to force overtime in the third. Let's see what will happen. Let's rejoin Mike Emmerich and Bill Clement.
Thank you, Tom. The last lines of defense, and there was a change in goal after the 4th Edmonton score. Walmsley came in to relieve Vernon.
Do you think the Oilers have made the most of their shots? They have only taken 12 shots on Calgary's goaltenders. They have scored 5 times. But look at the tough saves that Grant Fuhr has made. Very often in the Oilers' scheme of things, that is overlooked. The Flames have taken 17 shots on Fuhr. 9 of those saves were tough saves. That's more than half. That's a night's work. It's not a lot of work, but it's still a night's work. Who is that lady standing in amongst the crowd? Why, that looks like it's Wayne Gretzky's fiancée, isn't it? Right, Janet Jones.
The lady who broke a lot of hearts around North America. There you see the Oilers bench as they prepare to start what they trust and hope will be their last period of the year against the Calgary Flames. Impressive numbers on Wayne Gretzky's ice time. Over half, just a tad over half of the 40 minutes played has he been out there. Does a guy like that ever get a rest while he's out there? I just wonder if there's any way he can rest.
There's no question that the great ones pace themselves. At times, if you followed Wayne Gretzky around with your eyes, or if you ever did with the camera, you would see him leaning against the boards up in the neutral zone, actually taking a breather.
Even strength. Oh, what a shot and a save, and another one by Roberts.
2 more top saves for Grant Fuhr, especially when the Oilers need him. That's the book on Grant Fuhr. When you most need the big save, he will make it. Other goalies make big saves, but it's not at a big time in the game.
Well, you can see some Calgary aggressiveness here with some checks thrown just a moment ago by Roberts as McDonald fires one of his best, and Muni knocked it down. Now here's Cox. Cox trying to center, but it came back to Lacombe, who hurries it back out. Brad McCrimmon starts it back. Shift change for the Oilers. Big drive, eaten up by the stick of Fuhr. Hoken Loops checking, forces Krushelnyski deeper, and to get help from Huddy. Rolls it along to Jari Kurri. Pops one out to Krushelnyski. He has Gretzky on the wing, trying to get by Nieuwendyk, and does in front. A shot is blocked. Rebound forced wide.
Krushelnyski made the right play. He knew that he had Nieuwendyk back, so he put his head down, went wide. Sooner or later, he got in front. I don't know how they missed. Gretzky overskated the puck.
Natras chased off by Krushelnyski, then bumped on the play by Huddy. Puck back to Reinhart, keeps it in to Nieuwendyk. Couldn't get a shot away. Charlie Huddy came sliding across. There'll be a penalty coming up. Delayed call is on. Here comes Gretzky. Fakes the drive, then shovels it in, but it was an offside play. Trailing by 2, the Flames commit the first penalty of period 3. Back.
From
Equibank asked me to tell you about their loan line, because to apply for a loan, all you need is one of these. Just go to your phone, dial 1-800-LOAN-LINE, and they'll call you back in 1 hour. Loan line at Equibank, the straight talk bank.
When you need cash right away, you can have up to $50,000 at your fingertips with Equibank's Credit Express. It's a line of credit you access by writing a check, and you pay interest only on what you use. Credit Express at Equibank, the straight talk bank.
This should give you some idea of the difference between beer and Genesee Cream Ale. smooth Genesee cream ale. It's not the same old brewski.
Mike Vernon started this, but he has to watch Rick Wamsley finish. Messier will take the draw from Cox. Throughout the playoffs, every minute has been played for Edmonton by Grant Fuhr. And almost every minute of the regular season. 75 out of the 80 games for the Oilers he appeared in, and that's a record. Teams are at even strength. Oilers ahead on the scoreboard 5-3. And again, Fuhr watches as they come by, and Cox applied a good check on Craig Muni. Dana Merzen with a pass that is gathered in by Cox. Cox carrying. Outmanned, and the puck pops loose. Muni with the problem. Cox with a shot, blocked off by Lowe. Messier got some help, and Craig Simpson was able to sweep it back out.
You know, that's some of the best forechecking pressure that the Flames have had on in this entire series, and it had to come from a line of Cox, along with Lanny McDonald, and that's the kind of pressure that the Flames haven't been able to bring on the Oilers. The Oilers have moved the puck too fast for the Flames to establish that forechecking game, but you know, the Flames in most of this series have made it easy on them. Here's Gretzky.
What a shot. Huddy drops it back in. Gretzky sweeps out of the zone so that the play can be onside. The Flames in control as ahead with it comes Joel Otto. Sized up by Muni. The play to Mullen. Rising shot. Perhaps tipped to the glass by Fuhr. And we get a stoppage of play. Gary Fraser is calling a penalty. 14 minutes, 25 seconds to go in the third. And this one will be on the Flames. They trail 5-3.
Imagine doing this to your car. It's unthinkable. Yet some car waxes and polishes contain abrasives that can scratch your car. Introducing new Armor All Car Wax with no harsh abrasives, with a polishing ingredient so fine it won't scratch your car. Armor All Car Wax. It shines and protects, but it won't scratch.
BMW 325i convertible, the ultimate tanning machine.
Well, the door is open, and it is awaiting a Flames player. That's Tim Hunter. He's in there for the second period, but I don't know if we're going to have an eruption from the Flames bench or not. No, we're not. I was waiting to see if it was going to be a 5-minute penalty right on the left of your screen. Dana Merzen hits Esa Tikkanen right on the yap with his stick, and Gary Fraser took a long time to wait to see if Esa Tikkanen was going to bleed. He didn't bleed, and thus we don't have a 5-minute major penalty. It's only a 2-minute high sticking or slashing. It really doesn't matter. It turns out to be a slash to Merzen.
Boy, the Flames come out, Bill, and they get that great attack. Those two shots by Roberts at the start, they're hitting. Then they take a penalty, cross-checking to Paflinski. Then they start to storm back, another penalty.
Yep.
Merzen a slash.
It has been that kind of sequence all night long for the Flames, and when they have had their chances, they have simply run into the best goaltender in the world.
Edmonton with a shot in this period. Calgary with 4. In the second period, the Oilers had 5 shots. 3 of them went in. The first 2 were on Vernon. And the third one, probably the easiest play it seemed up here to handle on the night, was Hannon scoring on Wamsley. Huddy across to Gretzky. Looks for Curry. Gives to Tikkanen. Then on back to Gregg. Tikkanen, little direction to Gretzky. Tikkanen once more. Lets it go. Blocked back out. Gregg with a shot. That one hit someone in front and is reached by Suter. Thrown up to Patterson, but cut off by Gregg. Oilers regroup, and they pick up a change from the bench in Kevin Lowe. A minute 15 to go on the power play. Gretzky, dogged by Otto, turns it over to Tikkanen. In case you're just joining us, third period of play, 5-3, the Oilers ahead. They have the power play. If they win, they take the series in a sweep. Tikkanen a drive, and that off the mark. And it goes all the way back down, so Muni and Lowe will have to turn to play it. Messier is out on the power play now for Edmonton. Gretzky is there, and the other winger is Simpson. Here comes Messier. A pass to Simpson. Pokes it by Ramage. Roberts with a little bump on Simpson. That gives Reinhart some valuable time to play it. Muni unable to keep it moving. Tried for the stop and a good effort, but it'll have to be play back at center ice. 30 seconds to go on the power play. Play made by Lowe. Right back along to Gretzky. Gets one through to Simpson. Checked off and ridden to the boards and glass by Ramage. Reinhart up with it. Taps it back along to Hoken Lube. Lube starting out now with Roberts. Roberts finesse. Low on defense. Over to Lube, and he couldn't shovel it home because of Grant Fuhr.
What a move Roberts put on Kevin Lowe. Lowe went down in a heap. Roberts' move was so good, and then he threaded a pass that was as close to perfect as it could be to Hoken Lube, but it wasn't quite perfect. And that's why Lube couldn't get good wood on it. What a move right there. Lowe goes down in a heap. Watch this thread to Lube here. He tried to get it up. Well, I thought at first that it jammed him a little bit, that it might have been a little too far ahead of him for him to shoot it on his forehand. That super slow-mo shot looked like it was perfect for him to get some kind of good shot away, but flipped up over his stick. There's Roberts back at the bench.
What a shot. Has he given a lot tonight? Season with perspiration. He's only 21 years of age, and part of the reason that the Flames, regardless of this outcome, have a bright future. Otto on the draw with McTavish. Patterson pivots and then slams. Oh, and it went wide. Brad McCrimmon will go back to get it. Meanwhile, 2 seconds, 1 second, and out of the box comes Dana Merzen. The Flames have killed off 2, and a giveaway in front. Cornwall a shot, and he fanned on the second. Lacombe shot, blocked by Walmsley. Big pile up in front, and a stoppage of play. 12:16 to go in the third. Still, the Oilers by 2.
When your busy day is winding down,
Party time!
Lifetime is heating up. Every weekday starting at 6 p.m. Eastern, get involved in international intrigue on Cover Up.
Perfect.
Next, they're partners on the job and off.
You know how lucky I am?
I sure do.
Magruder and Loud. Then, 2 women, 2 cops. Cagney and Lacey.
Terrific.
Top off your day with the hot shows on Lifetime.
He was a happily married detective. She never socialized with his kind. And then it happened. Nothing will ever be the same.
If you ever see me again, you never saw me before.
Someone to watch over me. In stock and easy to order. Catch the thrills on Viewer's Choice.
I do have flight 139 leaving in 20 minutes, but only in first class.
I'll take it. Okay, they're calling my flight. I'll be there. I missed much?
No, it just started.
Where is she?
The second potted plant from the left.
Coming through when you're needed most. Membership has its privileges.
Nature can be devastating. The wood on your home needs protection. A water sealer waterproofs. Olympic Clear Wood Preservative does too. And Olympic gives you linseed oil that strengthens wood fibers. And additives to resist mildew. And preservatives to resist rot. Water sealers fade by comparison. Olympic, protecting wood for over half a century.
Buy Olympic Clear Wood Preservative through April 30th and get a $1.50 rebate from Olympic.
Had it not been for the bounce, this might be back to 3 goals for Edmonton in the advantage. But those are ifs.
Walmsley behind his net. The puck comes out to Norm Lacombe at one point here. Here's the first chance by Cordnell. Can't get the second one. Here's Lacombe. You know, he had time to risk it before Walmsley got back, but he wound up with a slapper. Walmsley was right there, lying in his face, was able to make the stop, and the Flames cling to life here.
No shots in the 36 seconds of attack zone possession for the Flames, or rather for the Oilers. Oilers fans have been geared to a fever pitch for a moment by the center ice scoreboard, and now it drops down to Just a bit of a drone as the puck held by Walmsley, and Fraser in to have words with a couple of players. Again, a face-off in the Calgary end.
Reinhardt without his helmet. Esa Tikkanen just ripped it right off him, but he paid the price. Reinhardt cross-checked him twice, right across the chest behind the net. That was Rick Natras that just skated through. Said something to Tikkanen, and there is Craig McTavish, who looks as if he's holding something against his head. Obviously his hand, but does he have a bit of ice in there?
There are only 3 players left in the playoffs who do not wear helmets. McTavish, Harold Sneps, and the injured Washington Capital Rod Langway.
Here's the action behind the net. Top left. It's happening, you just can't see it.
12 minutes left in the third. Teams are back at full strength. This is Gretzky for Curry. And that one tipped to the seats. Wayne Gretzky has played over 750 games for Glenn Sather. As you see, Jari Kurri, who has been here for almost all of that time, too. Gretzky's first game played for Sather was somewhat memorable for him. It was in the World Hockey Association at Cincinnati. And after the first period, he was benched by Sather and said, "You're playing so poor defensively, I can't use you." He threw him back out in the second and in the third, and Gretzky got a hat trick. That was game 1, and there have been so many memorable ones since then. Merzen swings it back along. Puck gathered in by Huddy. Going back to get it is Merzen. Merzen, Cox, and Nieuwendyk, the goal scorers for Calgary. Messier, Simpson, Gretzky, Tikkanen, and Hannon have scored for Edmonton. At one point, this was 4-0 Oilers. But the Flames got back to within 2. Trailed by 3 and back to within 2 again. Icing called against Calgary, and the faceoff will be near Walmsley. In the other series, in this Campbell Conference, the St. Louis Blues lost tonight 3-1 and trail in the series to the Detroit Red Wings 3-1. If Detroit wins one of the 3 remaining games and the Oilers do the same here, it'll be a matchup from last year. Edmonton and Detroit once more. Last year, Detroit won the first game and scared the Oilers in a couple of the others before going out 4-1. False start on the faceoff, so they'll go once more. Shots are, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, Mike, that it is a far superior Detroit Red Wings team. Should they go on to knock out the Blues than the Oilers faced last year? And they finished 5th overall this year in the National Hockey League. So it is going to be a tough series should Detroit eliminate St. Louis. Far tougher, I think, for the Oilers than last year.
And, of course, there's been that question mark hovering around the Red Wings, too, as to how quickly Steve Yzerman can get back in the lineup. Here is Ramage. The Oilers have 14 shots in the game, Calgary 22, but the Oilers are leading 5-3. Patterson defended well by Anderson. Ramage up with it and puts it into the catching glove of Fuhr. Little tap over to Kevin Lowe. Right after him to apply the body was Otto. Remember, Lowe is playing hurt. He's had problems around the ribs and also with the wrist, and he's coming off on a shift change. McTavish with an exchange back at center ice with Otto, as you see Merzen stepping ahead. And Gregg really rammed into Merzen. Fuhr angles to Randy Gregg. Little flop over to Lacombe that comes to Courtnall, but they ruled it across 2 lines, and so again a halt to the action.
Well, you know what the booing is all about. It was Rob Ramage and Craig Simpson that were jousting. Ramage got 2 great elbows in on Craig Simpson. One directly in front of Carey Fraser, and it was only for a couple of guys reaching over the fence and dragging Craig Simpson off the ice that held him back from going after Carey Fraser.
There's been a lot of fire in this game and historically in this series. I think the one thing that surprised us all in seeing game 1 was how defensively oriented it was. I think this was Smythe division. We were supposed to see end-to-end 9-7 or something. These games have been carefully played. Back to get it is Suter. On the turning stick of Joe Mullen, without a goal in this series. Play over to McCrimmon. And they get it to Mullen. Little tap to Bullard. It's a 3-on-2. Yanks it back over to Mullen. Feeds one. That is collared by Bullard. Centered, but gotten by Lacombe. Stoppage of play, and something happening. McTavish and Tonelli going toward one another, and the crowd gathers. Gary Frazier will take one, perhaps two. 10:15 left in the third. Oilers by 2.
One way. They are the new kids in town.
Notice anything unusual about Santa Carla yet?
No. It's a pretty cool place if you're a Martian.
Or a vampire?
When you're strange. What is it? I'm your brother, Sammy. Help me! Stay back! Stay back! My own brother, a damn blood-sucking vampire. Oh, you wait till Mom finds out, buddy.
The Lost Boys. The Lost Boys are coming to viewers' choice during National Cable Month. Don't miss the frightening fun.
Imagine one cable channel with something for everyone. It would have programs for kids,
Come on, Jerry, get up. Is it time for Mickey?
for families,
What's on TV?
A special on the Disney Channel. I want to watch.
and some things just for you.
Your favorite movie's on.
Great. I'll make the popcorn.
There is one channel that offers so much entertainment, it's like getting 3 channels in one.
The Schaefer's, okay?
Remember, no parties.
Sure, Dad.
Yes, they're gone. Come over.
Let's start it. Bring out the party. Let's break it out now. Coca-Cola Classic.
I can't believe they went home.
Great. Just great.
Being 7'2" has its disadvantages. Like I've got the biggest stomach on the team. When I get hungry, you can hear my stomach growling in the next area code. And when that happens, I pick up some Campbell's Chunky.
Nothing takes care of a mean appetite like the hearty chunks of beef and garden vegetables in Campbell's Chunky Beef Soup.
I look for 2 things in the kitchen: chunky and high ceilings.
Campbell's Chunky, it takes care of the meanest appetites.
There's a look at the Flames box. Cliff Fletcher is standing. Harley Hotchkiss is one of the Flames owners. He is seated right in front of Cliff Fletcher, and that is Al McNeil with his left hand on his jaw. Pretty quiet bunch up there. Here's the chance. Bullard coming around the net. Look at the bottom left is McTavish and Tonelli. That's the penalty situation. Wow, they're swinging with lefts and rights. They split up, and then McTavish went right after him, even without the helmet. I wonder how long it will be before we have no players on the endangered species list in the NHL.
It is Suter. Teams are at full strength. That doesn't affect manpower on the ice. Just denies the 2 teams the use of Tonelli and McTavish until the first whistle after their 2 minutes have been served. Gretzky, but this tip loose, and a chance out in front by Lube. Another shot, and a marvelous save made by Fuhr. He got a surprise in a second one, but got them both.
You know the thing that's so incredible about Grant Fuhr, he not only made those saves, the second one while he was down, he ends up with it in his glove. Here is the play to Lube right in front. There's the first shot, point blank. Fuhr is down, stacks the pads. No problem there. He's already got it up in the air in his glove. 2 dandies. Oh. There it is.
Håkan Lube has come up empty tonight, but has had some splendid chances.
He has. You can say what you want about Calgary's big guns failing them. Håkan Lube got one here in Game 3. He has played hard. I will give Håkan Lube all the credit in the world. He has been one of the Flames players that has played the same. He hasn't scored at his normal rate, but he's played hard since the opening faceoff in Calgary in Game 1.
Grant Fuhr, you saw just a moment ago, and those of you who saw Game 3 remember that late in the game, with just over 5.5 minutes to go, he was run into by Tim Hunter. And to give you an idea of how well Fuhr takes all of this viciousness and veracity of hockey, he said, well, he just stopped by for a visit. I'd have rather he'd have brought flowers. trying to sucker Nieuwendyk. Chucks to the side of the net, and then squirted away from Pure. In with this now is Curry, able to nudge it along to Mark Messier. The Oilers have a potential 3-on-2. In comes Messier, hands to Gretzky. Wait, drive, blocked down. Gretzky couldn't recover, and taking it is Messier. Spins back over for Gretzky. It's tipped by McCrimmon, and then he wraps Gretzky up. The kick comes to Lube. Oakenlube away from the forechecking of Gretzky, who's coming to the bench for a shift change. Now sees the play develop on to Mark Messier. Messier's flip is into the glove of Curry, but he's forced off by McCrimmon. Mullen has it tapped away by Tikkanen, and so the Oilers will chase. Flames need 2 to force overtime. If they don't win the game, they're out. Roberts pivoting. Feeds it back to Reinhart. Big drive was actually a pass trying to carom one off. Messier lays a pass that is deflected by Reinhart. Turnaround shot is smothered. Suter let it go, and Muni got in front of it. Mullen's pass misses for Roberts. Pure behind to take it. The clock ticks down to 8:30. Puck back to Mullen. Winds up and hopes, and it's wide. Brushed ahead. Hard check on Lacombe as ahead comes Krushelnyski. Poke checked away. Anderson scores!
In a lot of cases, it hasn't been the first guy that has killed the Calgary Flames. Sometimes it's been the second guy, sometimes it's been the third guy. Once again, Glenn Anderson comes late on the play, but he keeps barreling in. Krushelnyski breaks in. Look at Anderson, number 9, all the way. It goes up in the air. He hits it out of midair, right into the long side. Rick Wamsley has not recovered from Krushelnyski's move. Wamsley's trying to get up now. And Anderson actually whacks it right out of midair on the backhand. Past Wamsley. Well, this should just be about enough. We got 8 minutes to go, but boy, it's been an uphill climb for the Flames.
Krushelnyski and Simpson get the assist and a chance for Otto on the ricochet, but that one knocked back away by Muni. Rob Ramage able to control and look things over. Sailed one out of play. 7:46 left in the third. They're readying a celebration. Home team up 6.
The hottest hits and the hottest stars come together on Viewer's Choice. Join Dennis Quaid in a fantastically funny voyage inside Martin Short.
I'm in here, inside your body.
Inner space. Then it started as a quiet evening at home.
My mom's car!
Adventures in babysitting. Next, it's Flowers in the Attic from the bestseller that shocked 40 million readers. And John Cryer discovers the one thing more dangerous than the mob. High school.
No smoking on the school grounds.
In the smash hit, Hiding Out. Ally Sheedy is a rich girl gone broke.
I did not spend 6 years in junior college to be a maid.
Made to order. And coming in June, it's Rob Reiner's latest comedy, The Princess Bride. Jack Nicholson and Cher star in The Witches of Eastwick. And Diane Keaton has a rash of problems in Baby Boom. Why rent 'em? We got 'em. Order a hit tonight on Viewer's Choice.
Blue. Labatt's blue.
Evening is night.
Blue heaven.
I hurry to mine.
Smooth.
Clean. Crisp.
Labatt's blue.
Turn to the right.
Imported beer from Canada.
We'll lead you to mine.
Labatt's blue. Yeah.
Heaven.
How well does your car stand up to heavy traffic?
you, it was just getting started.
You can see that it is far from over. The 2 5s on the left of your screen are pretty well locked up. Dana Merzen, number 5 for Calgary, and their number 5 for Steve Smith, and here they go. All right, they got themselves where they want each other. Now let's see what they can do. The linesmen are a long way off. If these boys want to go, they're going to get all of each other they want. One of the complications of this situation is that it's right in front of the Oilers bench. A couple of the Oilers players looked as if they were grabbing on to some of the pile. John Muckler tried to restrain them. Kerry Fraser, the referee who's standing there, did see what transpired, so we might have something extra because the Oilers grabbed on, but you can see that everybody else is pretty well calmed down. Fraser has them standing behind the blue line, and finally Ron Finn, who was all the way over at the penalty box, came over to separate the big 5s. Merzen for the Flames, and Smith for the Oilers. Steve Smith, I can't tell you how much hockey he has played in this series and how well he has played for the Edmonton Oilers. He has really been a workhorse that has all completely wiped out any of the bad memories that he has had and that anybody else should have from that 86 series when he scored on his own goal. He's really played well. There he is.
We'll pick up the penalty calls and be right back.
When your busy day is winding down,
Party time.
Lifetime is heating up. Every weekday starting at 6 p.m. Eastern, get involved in international intrigue on Cover Up.
Perfect.
Next, they're partners on the job and off.
You know how lucky I am?
I sure do.
Magruder and Loud. Then 2 women, 2 cops. Cagney and Lacey.
Terrific.
Top off your day with the hot shows on Lifetime.
He was a happily married detective. She never socialized with his kind. And then it happened. Nothing will ever be the same.
If you ever see me again, you never saw me before.
Someone to watch over me. In stock and easy to order. Catch the thrills on Viewer's Choice.
Blue heaven. Labatt's blue. Imported beer from Canada.
The Porsche 944. The Volvo 740 Turbo Wagon. To you, they're 2 completely different cars. But to a radar gun, they look exactly alike.
Let's pick up the penalty calls.
The Calgary's number 55, Rob Ramage, 2 minutes for roughing. To the Oilers' number 15, Jeff Cortnell, 2 minutes for roughing. And to the Oilers' number 5, Steve Smith, 5 minutes for fighting.
Now, the first penalty call, you might not have gotten the name on. That was Merzen, and that's the extra one that will give the Oilers the power play with 7:46 to go. Bill, I've got a question. You played with Lanny McDonald, and every time a guy gets over 30 and near the end of a season, I guess we always wonder, do you think he'll be back for another year?
Lanny doesn't know. I spoke to him this morning. He said he's going to sit down and talk with Cliff Fletcher when the season's over, but you might have just seen one of the last close-ups you're ever going to see of number 9 of the Calgary Flames, Lanny McDonald.
Tomorrow night, the scene will shift to the Forum on St. Catherine Street in Montreal. The Canadiens facing elimination up against the Boston Bruins. Sam Rosen and Phil Esposito will have all of the action for you on ESPN at 7:30. It is a new day in the Eastern time zone, and that will be the time zone to which we'll head if this one stays the same. St. Louis and the Detroit Red Wings, Wednesday night, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Telecast of this game out of the Northlands Coliseum is going all over the United States on ESPN and all across Canada as well. Still some confusion out of this as the wave is starting to circulate here. But the hardiest of hockey fans, Bill, have to be those who might be watching a telecast in Newfoundland tonight, because this game, because of the recent daylight saving time, and they went to daylight, which is an hour and a half more. This game started back there at midnight. And right now, it is 3:45 in the morning in Newfoundland. Anybody have to be at work at 7? Start with the coffee right now. Again, that start statistic, the 0 on the Calgary side.
And they have been without their quarterback, and you can't measure the importance of the quarterback. Al McInnes has been out the last 2 games for Calgary, and he not only has the hardest shot in the NHL, but he is the man that brings the puck up ice and establishes the first phase of the power play, and that is gaining possession of the zone. And without McInnes, the Flames haven't even been very strong doing that, so his absence has really hurt them.
Charlie Huddy takes it. Roughing and fighting to Merzen, roughing only to Ramage, roughing to Courtnall, fighting to Smith. The penalties all cancel except for the extra roughing minor to Merzen. And that's why Edmonton has this power play, which is their 7th. Yari Curry ahead, but too far for Huddy, and the puck ricocheted out of play by Brad McCrimmon.
He hasn't taken the helmet off for good, has he? Where's his helmet?
All the way down near Walmsley at the goal, I see one.
You know the sad thing for the Flames in this situation? There's taking his helmet. People really forget quickly what kind of hockey season you had when you get knocked out early. And by playoff standards, I guess if you don't make it past the first 2 rounds, that's considered early. A lot of people will forget very quickly that the Calgary Flames had easily their best hockey season. They had the best regular hockey season in the National Hockey League this year. And that's the sad thing for the Flames. Not many people will remember the excellence of the regular season. They will remember the bitter defeat of the playoffs.
Puck ripped back out of play. Cliff Fletcher, the general manager, has always said he likes wingers that are at least 6 feet tall. He likes defensemen that are around 200 pounds and centermen with skills. We tell you that story as we look toward this one. 7 of 8 have been won by the Oilers. They can make it 8 of 9 tonight. And we'll follow up in a moment. Here is Huddy rolling off, and this angled around by Suter. Pop near Håkan Lube. Lube starts out with Nieuwendyk. Right now at 2-on-2, but he fanned on the pass. 1:10 to go. Under 7 minutes to play in the season for the Flames unless they can get 3. Brad McCrimmon moving in. Poked away from Anderson. Along comes Simpson, but it is shuttled off of Lube, and going back to regather is Messier. Play made right back ahead. Nice sidestep by Simpson on the attempt from Roberts. In comes Messier, trying to get by McCrimmon. Behind, it's taken by Simpson and rolled back to Lowe. Lowe hands it back across to Craig Muni. Muni rolling to Messier, then the little tap to Anderson. Angles one off McCrimmon. Moving along to take it is Kevin Lowe. Then to Messier, directed one in front, and everyone seemed to be frozen. Half a minute to go on the power play. Shift change on. They bring out Colin Patterson to work up front along with Joel Otto. Kevin Lowe with the play made back out. 6 minutes even to go now here in the third. The pass hit off Curry and is retrieved and drilled back along by Natras. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and the penalty, the minor to Ramage, is up. And the man serving it, Ramage himself, comes to the bench. Stoppage of play. And then a brush between Tikkanen and Fraser. Ramage was the man who had the roughing minor only, so he's the one dismissed, and he comes right back promptly to the ice as you see Yari Curry. I was making mention of small players or sizes of players. Cliff Fletcher is proud of a guy he's got in Salt Lake, and they've gotten their way into the semifinals in the International League. Theoren Fleury, he's 5'5", and is listed at 153 pounds. And Fletcher says, everyone says a man that small can't play in the NHL. He may prove you wrong, maybe as soon as next year.
Boy, I'll bet you $100 right now that he won't prove us wrong in Cliff Fletcher's organization. He'll have to get traded first. I've never seen Cliff have a player even close to anybody that small.
Salt Lake, by the way, is about to enter the semifinals we mentioned against Colorado. There's a penalty call coming up from Kerry Fraser. The signal is interference. And with the Flames having served their minor, it'll be the Oilers who'll have to serve one now. 5:25 left in the third. Flames trail by 3.
Boy, Randy Gregg made no mistake on that one. Tonelli didn't even come close to having the puck. At that stage, Randy Gregg went right after him and took a body. That was one of those times where Randy Gregg said, well, if I don't get seen, I can get away with it. But I have to take him out because I've already committed and I'm out of position. Tonelli will go right by me.
Joe Nieuwendyk comes on. Nieuwendyk has 1 goal in this series. Mike Bullard has yet to score in the series, and on the opposite side, it is Håkan Loob. Loob has a goal. Marty McSorley at the bench. Looked as though he might have been standing up to come out, but no, he'll remain there. Don't recall McSorley being used in this third period, although he might have been. Puck angled back down, and so Reinhart will go back to give chase. He'll be 1-point man. Suter will be the other.
I'm not sure Glenn Sather wants to take the chance of having Marty McSorley out there for bait. Remember, he's the guy that speared Mike Bullard, so you never know if somebody might not want to even the score. Glenn Sather has a lead. He figures he's got enough players to go ahead and win it. Remember, Marty McSorley started overtime in Game 2, so don't tell me that Glenn Sather doesn't have the confidence in Marty McSorley in certain situations if you can start a hockey game's overtime period. I think he's just protecting him from anybody retaliating from the spear.
Reinhart rolls. Bullard is there. 1:20 to go on the power play. Reinhart takes it from Suter and gives it back. Suter shovels over to Loob. Then to Nieuwendyk. Quick shot, and it's right into the stick of Grant Fuhr. McSorley out now along with Charlie Huddy. McTavish and Curry up front, and McTavish causing some problems for Suter, as with it is Ramage. A pass off the heel of the stick of Tonelli, and the Oilers make the Flames chase again. Brad McCrimmon back to get it. 4:10 to go in the third period and 40 seconds remaining on the Flames power play. It's laid back across to Ramage. Reading the bounce is Fuhr. Poked one high, and a backhand attempt by Otto went wide. Ramage spins one in front, trying for the carom. Then a stop attempt by Tonelli. They score! Otto and Tonelli and Mullen were all at the front. And the Flames get a power play goal. They're back to within 2 with 3:51 to play.
Well, that's the kind of determination that has made John Tonelli a thorn in so many team sides during his career. Grant Fuhr is almost superhuman, but he is not a brick wall. Tonelli whacks at this thing in the air after Otto misses. Watch 27 right in the middle of the bottom of your screen. Finally move in front and whack at this thing I don't know how many times in midair. He tries the stuff. Boom, whack, whack. He finally got it out of midair the second time. On the second swat, Fuhr gets him on the first one. Watch Tonelli swing once, swing twice. Not sure that he ever hit it, though. It almost looked like it was just rolling down Fuhr.
Flames have yielded nothing. They're back to within 2. Teams at even strength. Gretzky out opposite Otto for the faceoff. Then comes back to Gary Suter. Suter's pass connected to Loob. Lays it ahead for Otto, but it's punched away by Huddy to Jari Kurri. Then to Gregg. Pass given up to Loob, but he had to wait till teammates got onside. Feeds to Reinhart. Reinhart tried to shuffle one through on the backhand, but it's Tikkanen connecting to Gretzky. Back on comes Wayne Gretzky. Looks and slides one by Kurri and wide. Håkan Loob able to control for Calgary as the clock ticks down to 3:15. Rick Wamsley motioning to the bench, asking with his glove, do you want me to come off? Gretzky collides with Suter, and back again to play it as Reinhart. 3:05 to go. Connects to Håkan Loob, then back to Mullen. Away from the forechecking of Kurri. Passes along, but it's given up to Messier. Flames need to get some penetration here, but aren't getting it right now. Again, they chase. Suter pursued by Anderson. Slugs it back off to the turning stick of John Tonelli. Pass nearly given up to Messier. Taking it back is Bullard. Trying to step away from Messier. Lobs one that's shouldered by Lowe. Across for the chip back up by Muni. And this is Messier. Trailer on the play. Simpson. He fires, and it's into Walmsley. 2.5 to go in the third. Back up with it is Colin Patterson for the angle. In to get it is Bullard. Shouldered with Anderson. And the puck carried away from them. We get a whistle and stoppage of play. And a slashing call indicated, I believe, against one of the Oilers. If we can get just a moment to take a look to see who goes in. It is John Tonelli. So it'll be against one of the Flames with 2:19 to go in the third. The Oilers to get the power play. They lead 6-4. So again, as in the other game, at a time when the Flames don't need it, just over the amount of time left in the game, just under it rather, they get a minor penalty. 2:19 to go, and they have to kill 2 minutes.
2 minutes for high sticking.
High sticking call to John Tonelli, the guy that got them back to within 2 with the goal.
The time, 17 minutes.
Now, wait a minute, are these canceling? Okay, I beg your pardon. Craig Muni has gone off as well. We saw initially the signal only to Tonelli, but there was another one. So these cancel, and the teams will still be at full strength. Walmsley is still in the goal, so it'll be a 5 attackers per side right now. Wayne Gretzky and Messier are out for center insurance in case one is chased from the faceoff. This one is tapped by Fuhr, and headed to the bench is Walmsley. Puck centered, and Messier with it. Now the net at the other end is empty. And this one is popped back down. It will go wide. The Oilers normally will try to be careful to at least get across the center red line so that they're not guilty of icing here. Mullins' pass comes across to Bullard. Up the wing now to Joel Otto. Tried to get by the defense, couldn't. And the puck was not kept in by Suter. Offside is the call, and the Oilers would like it taken all the way back down the ice, but will not get it.
Joel Otto is slamming the stick against his pads that are in his pants. He is angry at himself, and he should be. They penetrated the zone, which is exactly what the Flames wanted to do. And instead of Otto taking it wide and opening everything up, he tried to make a move to the inside and got poke checked. He's probably saying to himself, why did I want to go inside? The play was to go to the outside and open it up. I had my whole team coming, breaking for the net. A little shovel pass in front, and I got somebody there someplace.
Calgary takes a timeout to talk it over. 1:54 to go in the third. They've been pretty gallant in their comeback. They haven't been down. They've continued to scrap back. They got to within 2, saw the Oilers score, got to within 2 again, saw the Oilers score, and again back to within 2.
That man is Pierre Paget. He is a big part of the nuts and bolts of this Flames organization. Nuts and bolts, I guess, are synonymous with X's and O's, but he technically is a huge part of Terry Crisp's staff. Here what they wanted to do. They want to try and win the face-off, dump it in, and get a face-off in behind, or at least deep in the Oilers zone, so that they can work some type of play off of the face-off. So let's see if they can win it, get it in deep, and then freeze it. They need possession in deep. Now Walmsley is on the bench. There was an offside call, so the face-off should be
The goalie's what?
out of the Oilers' blue line. I don't know what's going on here. There was an awful roar that went up.
I looked around too.
Oh, here we go.
We're going to get a stick measurement on Grant Fuhr's goalie stick.
It's no big deal. It's a pain. No, Carrie. It's called a Master Care car service. Brakes, alignments, tune-ups, the works. It's no big deal. and a 6-month or 6,000-mile warranty. Covers parts, labor, wherever they do MasterCare service.
From Seattle to Schnecksville.
Sounds right, this MasterCare.
So right that fixing your car is no big deal.
Finally, taking care of your car is no big deal. MasterCare Car Service by Firestone.
I thought they just sold tires.
How well does your car stand up to heavy traffic?
Well, I mean, with a minute and 54 to go, why not? What are they going to measure? The width of the blade, it looks like.
If the Oilers are caught, it's an extra penalty to them. If the Flames are wrong, then they get the minor.
It's going to have to be close. What is it, 3.5 inches for the width of the blade, I believe? And it's, boy, when you look at Grant Fuhr's stick, it doesn't really look out of the ordinary.
If Gary Fraser puts it over the glass, in this case, Ron Finn is doing it, it's illegal. So the Flames will not only have their goaltender pulled, there'll be a minor to Edmonton, and so they'll have outmanned them by one more player.
Boy, Gretzky was over at the bench complaining to someone back there. I think it was one of the trainers. He was standing down there jawing away at whoever is back there. He's still going at it. Boy, Gretzky had a mouthful for one of the Oilers trainers back there. They actually, you know what they have just done, Mike, is taken one of the sticks, one of the other goalie sticks, off of the bench and right down the ramp away from harm's way so that nobody can grab it and measure it, I guess.
Thinking out loud, Bill, I wonder if maybe the reason to take that back was to check it. Wouldn't all of those sticks have been checked before, though? Seems logical that it would be, but Pete Peters, of course, discovered that all of his were illegal in one of our telecasts last week.
Well, I mean, you'd have to figure that all of Grant Fuhr's sticks are the same. Now, if he uses one of Bill Ranford's sticks, I wonder if Ranford uses a hook. I don't know offhand if he uses a hook in his stick. I don't.
Playing with an illegal stick. The time, 18 minutes.
Fuhr's got some kind of stick out there. I don't know if that's his or if it's Ranford's, but it doesn't look like there's a hook in it. You can see the blade from that angle is pretty straight.
Well, well, well. A minute 54 to go in the third. A minor up on the board against Fuhr. Another Oiler has gone over to serve it. Must be a player who was on the ice at the time.
That was Bill Ranford. He's gone back into the locker room. Boy, I'll tell you what,
see.
Doors close pretty quick this time of year.
Tikkanen was the man on the ice who's been sent to serve the minor. What this means is Grant Fuhr has 4 attackers in front of him and 6 coming at him, although Walmsley has gone back to the ice, crept out near the blue line, and will hustle the last 30 feet or so if his team controls. And they do, but he must glide back to the cage because Suter has come near. Now Suter moves it back out. A minute 40 to go, regulation time. The Flames have to get 2. The change is made. The extra man out is Mullen. Loose puck turned over to McTavish. McTavish angles one back down, and going back to get it is Otto. Now there won't be icing because this is a power play for Calgary. Puck swept around to Lube. Penalty time will go over the time that we have left in the game. A minute 20 to play. Suter spun one across the goal mouth. And the Flames quickly give chase. Hoke and Lube to take it. Hannon comes fresh from the bench along with Gretzky. Lube starts back in. Lost it to Hannon. There'll be a penalty coming up. Delayed call is on Edmonton. A slashing call, and the Flames are now going to have 6 attackers against a goalie and 3 with a minute 1 to go in the third.
And it's going to be one of their valuable guys that is getting it. the horse that they need out there. Steve Smith is the guy that Kerry Fraser has whistled off for slashing.
They were empty in game 3 and so far empty tonight. But they're not presented with a better chance than right now. 6 attackers against a goalie in 3. There was no better team during the regular season on 5-on-3 two-man advantages than Calgary. So far in the playoffs, they have scored on 3 of 6. They've got to get 2 goals to force overtime. Smith gets a slashing minor. If you care about the time, it's 18:59. 61 seconds to go.
Well, we are being told that behind that door, Bill Ranford remains. We somehow have a report that he's in there cutting down a goalie stick, believe it or not. It has trickled through our electrical systems all the way to our headsets and into our ears. And he just came back out with the stick. Now, well, very, very discreetly, the Oilers have replaced Grant Fuhr's stick. He's got a red one now.
Yep.
So what they did is they went into the locker room and quickly whipped up a legal red one. Obviously, that's the stick that Fuhr wants to play with. So he played with a straight-bladed white stick. It was a Sherwood. Now he's back with the red one. There's the red Sherwood. And that's the one that we are told Bill Ranford was in there doing his best imitation of Bill the Carpenter.
Well, the Oilers would have to figure that is worth a timeout for Fuhr to have his regular piece of lumber. They are making a deafening roar, and the scoreboard isn't prodding them to it this time. They look down on this ice to see Otto and Messier, the 2 old adversaries about to tangle, and then Otto waved out. So Nieuwendyk will come on. 6 attackers Calgary, 3 defenders plus Fuhr for Edmonton. The puck comes back to Gary Suter from the slot. Deals it off to Mullen. Mullen with 55 seconds to go. Gets it back again from Nieuwendyk. Suter fakes, hands to Mullen. Fires, save, rebound. Comes back to Suter. Wrist shot, save made by Fuhr, and it's cleared. Half a minute to go. Suter moves on. Gregg wedging him. Suter escapes. Looks toward Louvre. Back it comes to Mullen. Mike Bullard to Suter for the drive. Ricochet. Perhaps it got the post. 12 seconds. Mullen to Suter. They've got to hurry, and it's given up to Gregg, who throws it down wide.
It won't matter.
They chant it off. There are many stories in this series. Let's let the pictures tell a few more. This is the bench as the last seconds went off. Down come the banners that say, "Welcome to Calgary, home of the '88 Stanley Cup champions." Perhaps the bumper stickers will come off that say, "Honk if you love the Flames," though I doubt it. And there you see the happy Oilers coming off. What a time this must be for Steve Smith, who's had to labor with the notion over the last 2 years that Calgary won the last one, and perhaps because of him. Our Hartford Insurance player of the game, and the series for that matter.
You bet, Grant Fuhr. 30 shots the Flames took on Grant Fuhr tonight. They got 4 by him. But by our count, over 20 of those chances were tough chances on Grant Fuhr. And he is very often the forgotten man in this powerhouse they call the Edmonton Oilers. But our Hartford Insurance player of the game, Grant Fuhr.
Greg McTavish said, "We won the Cup last year, but we didn't beat Calgary to do it. We're like Hulk Hogan. We won our belt back. Tonight they got it." Here's Tom Mees.
All right, Mike Emmerich, thank you very much. And as Essetekin and the rest of the Oilers go to their locker room smiling, they are secure in the knowledge of knowing that in the Campbell Conference Finals, they'll have the best goalie maybe in the world. And Grant Fuhr, he made play after play to capture the 7-up plays of the night this evening. The road to the Cup, evening 15, ends with the Edmonton Oilers being crowned as Smythe Division champions. Our final score, the Oilers win it over Calgary 6-4, sweeping the Flames out of the playoffs 4 games to none. Tomorrow night, our road to the Cup moves to the fabled Forum in Montreal. It'll be Game 5 of the Adams Division Finals. Montreal must win or they'll be gone. The Bruins lead the series 3 games to 1. Join us, won't you, tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern, and that is 4:30 p.m. Pacific Time as Road to the Cup returns. Right now, as we leave you, let's take a musical look at some of the highlights over the first 15 evenings on ESPN's Road to the Cup 1988. We'll see you tomorrow from Montreal.
To the danger, less to advise. Your footsteps are forbidden, but with knowledge of your sin, you throw your love to all the strangers and caution to the wind. Just to see what you will find.